So you were named as the maverick former CEO of Telecity, and known for an unusual but effective management style, which includes getting his team to face their fears by swimming with sharks. It's not a metaphor. So can you tell us a little bit more about that story?
Yeah. So, well, the thing is, when I took Redbus private, and we were trying to create the sort of critical mass for Europe, and so I had approached Telecity and said, we need to merge this together. And I started talking to my management team about the fact that we're going to merge these. Imagine sort of Equinix and digital. You know, we're gonna come together, and my management team were really scared because, you know, they think when they think of that sort of thing, consolidation, they think of redundancies, synergies, all those sorts of things. So they go, oh no. And I said, first of all, fear is a completely illogical emotion, right? Because we never fear the present and we never fear the past. We only fear the future. Well, that's kind of odd because you don't know what the future is going to be. So either you can improve the future or improve your chances of the future, or there's nothing you can do, in which either way, it doesn't matter, right? So you shouldn't fear it. And I took them up to Edinburgh on a management meeting, and they thought they were going to a whiskey tasting. But if anyone's been up just across the Firth of Forth, you do an immediate U-turn, you come down to the water level, and there's a giant man-made aquarium. It's probably 5 times as big as this room and 5 times as deep. And it actually feels like you're in the open water in there. So they said, well, this is a strange place for whiskey tasting. But they all got out. And I said, right, 2 by 2, get your wetsuits on, put the breathing apparatus on. And they were like, And if you've ever put breathing apparatus on for the first time, that itself is claustrophobic to an extent and quite scary. But then I said, please get in. And as they got in the water, they saw these shark fins in front of them like this. And then I started to get called some interesting names. But ultimately, they all went in. There was no cage, no nets, and the sharks were big sharks. They were some as long as this entire platform here, and like that wide. And they'd come up to you like this. And the only thing they told you is, please don't try to touch them, because that's probably a bit, stretching it a bit too far, so they will have your hand off. But we were on our knees on the seabed, effectively, and these things were coming up. But basically, as people came out again, I said to them, okay, how did you feel when you knew what you were about to do, when the reality dawned and you could see that shark fin and you were getting in that water? And they said, I hate you. There was nothing that I could, say about you that would be good enough to reprint now. But it's just absolutely terrible. I said, okay, how did you feel when you were on the seabed? And they were right there. And they said, well, I was still really scared, but it was actually really exciting. It was kind of, I was getting this, wow. I said, how do you feel now? You're out. I said, oh, amazing. So I can tell my kids, I don't want to do it again, but just amazing. So happy I did it. And I said, well, okay, every time you face something that you're worried about, let's park the fear word, that you're worried about in the future, remember that, first of all, invariably, it's not as bad as you think it could be. Right? Secondly, when you're going through it, you're probably going to learn something. And when you come out of it, you'll be a better person for it. So that was the lesson. It's easier than just writing it down and giving it to him in a memo. And of course, the chap that I didn't want with the synergies, I gave him a little nick on the arm on the way in, and he got eaten. No.